All right, guys. Hello. This is High Priestess Jamila. I will not be here long because I have got some stuff that I have got to uh, take care of. I've got some meditation that I need to do, but I wanted to speak to y'all about the negative effects of black magic and the fact that all of it, even the negative things that happen, the negative words, the negativity, the negative actions, all of that can be reversed. All of it, no matter what happens, it can always be rescinded, given back, and reversed. And I've noticed that there have been people that have been delusionally feeling as though the things that they do can't be reversed, and that's not the truth. Okay. Sometimes black magic can bend reality. It can cause you to lose your job, lose your money, have bad luck, have bad health, lose your husband, lose your wife, lose your life. All of those things can be reversed, and it's best to reverse them ASAP. It just depends on the level of negativity and how deep it goes. Depends on the level of negativity. All of it can be reversed. That's why we do reversals. Your spirit will let you know when something ain't right, and you have to follow your intuition, and you have to be careful who you get your spiritual advice from. Whatever they did to you, whatever it was, whether or not it was a curse, a doll, a fucking manipulative attack, all of those things can be reversed. I've been doing it for years. This is one of the reasons why I manifest all the time. I have people constantly trying to come for my money, trying to come for my energy, trying to come from my children. Um, you can always reverse those things. They are reversible. It's almost like the magic Mr. Clean eraser. You can erase it. And I've been doing it for years. This is what I do for a living. This is what I get paid for. So there's a lot of people out there that think, oh God, this can never be reversed. And that's actually not true. Right now, what is happening is that it's a space and time where, people are scared, and people do stupid, unnecessary things when they are afraid and codependent. They are afraid, codependent. There are a lot of witches out here. There's a lot of people out here that are not making the right decision in what they're doing. And when they try to impede in your life, you have the right. And not only that, the power is in your hands to reverse that stuff completely. I don't care what it is. Now, if you get to the point where you done killed somebody, because that's what these types of people cause, they cause violence and death. If you done killed somebody, there's certain things that you can't take back. And then but when things are at a point where they haven't went that far, because this is one of the reasons why I don't do breakup magic anymore. It's no need to do it. There's no need to break up certain people, especially when it's not meant for them to be together. If it's meant for, so this is one of the reasons why I don't do it anymore. It's best to figure out what's at the root of the problem, which typically is, um, uh, it's typically generational hexing. Okay, is what it is. And with generational hexing, this is because there is a need for something. So this is the reason why the circumstances and the energies in your life may be either stagnant or non-existent because somebody else got you hung up and tied up like the hanged man, and you supposed to be their sacrifice. You know, that shit is hilarious. Codependent people are funny. They're very cunning. They run around in packs. For some reason, people think that the larger the group that you have, the more powerful. But when you are doing very weak, very scary things because you fear, you have these fears that you manifest, then sometimes you can get yourself caught up in something. You can get yourself caught up, and a lot of people think that solitary witchery is weak, or that if you're a solitary witch, that you are weak. But in reality, that's not the reality. You've got the strength of 100 witches, sometimes even more than that. So you got people out here that, um, they resemble gangs, and it's so lower level. Spirits frown upon it because it's been going on for so long. So many scary people that have no idea. They don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what they speak of. They really don't. Okay, they don't have any idea. They walk around moving in fear, and people that are moving in fear are going to be probably some of your biggest obstacles. And that's what we have. That's why the church is attacking women, and I'm sorry, the church is attacking witches, and we don't have to bow down to that church because we're not weak. Okay, we're pagan, and they're weak. They committed treason against witchcraft. They use witchcraft to get what they want. And then they said, oh, well, witchcraft is evil because they were doing evil things with witchcraft that they knew they wouldn't get away with. People thought that they could just use witchcraft for whatever they wanted. No. In spirit, people have a right to what is meant for them. If somebody comes up and says, well, I don't like that, well, so what? That's how the spirits see it. However, you have to do the work because there is a upside down reality. There's a flip mode. There's a flipped, reversed reality, which, to be honest with you, has nothing to do with heaven or hell. This is just, people being manipulative, energies being manipulative, demons being manipulative. All of those things can be broken. Curses can be broken. Contracts can be rescinded. That's basically what you're dealing with, is a contract that is created. Contracts take all of 5 minutes to destroy. After that, you have to accept that you're no longer living in that reality. Even though people will try to make it look like that, it's almost like the Truman Show. People manipulating things, for their own selfish purposes, which the universe does not support any longer. The universe told these people that they were cutting them off and they didn't listen. So, everything that is meant to be yours, everything that it's meant to happen for you is coming back for you, but you have to do the work. You do. You have to do the work. You can't just go, oh, and you can't just say it. You got to write it. You got to use the elements. You do. And once you've done it, you don't have to keep redoing it over and over again. You don't have to just do something over and over again. If it's meant for something to happen, you ain't got to do it or say it over and over again. So when you are doing and saying things over and over again, it takes away the power. To be honest with you, a lot of people think that it's based upon repetition, but it's not. So repetitively saying things over and over again are not going to make it happen either. There's a lot of people that they wish things, they say it over and over again, but it's not going to ever make it reality. The problem is that there's so many people that are willing to accept certain things, but when you get to a certain point and you get to a certain age and you get to a certain level, then you realize, okay, well, this ain't right. Let's go ahead and resend this because, something obviously ain't right. And then, the folks that's running around, saying it over and over again and just proclaiming it, they weak. They're weak. Their magic is weak and they know it. That's why they have to say it over and over again. That's why I don't like to repeat myself. That's why I won't be here that long saying the same thing over and over again. Reason why I ain't gonna say it over and over again is because, I don't have to. Your words are supposed to have impact the first time that you say it. If your words have no impact the first time, if you haven't made a valid first impression with the spirits, they gonna look at you and go, this is a joke. And some people, they just, it's what it is that it's people out there that just don't give up when they're trying to manipulate other people. And it doesn't matter. They'll be going and going and going, and it'll be a totally different reality happening in your life, and they'll still have to just go and go and go. You'll go back and check on those people 1 to 2 to 3 to sometimes even 10 years later, they be doing the same damn thing. And then they would realize at some point, you would think they would realize at some point, God damn, they going in circles around the same damn thing, but it ain't changed nothing in your life. But they just going around in circles. You would think that they would realize that these curses of this shit that they doing to other people, you would think that they would realize at some point that it is actually affecting more so their lives than yours. But they don't. That is how demonic entities work. They don't let a person realize it. That's why you have to be very, very, very careful. Because if you're not realizing real lies, then you're going to end up stuck. You don't have to be stuck like those other people are stuck. They are stuck. First of all, if you stuck on somebody else's reality that has nothing to do with you, we have seen that quite a bit. And it's not that you're unfortunate for running into these types of people. It's actually quite the opposite, that you would run into these types of people that they just can't let it go. They just go on and on and on all day and night about the same thing. The reason why they have to do that is because they know that the reality that they would like to push forward, the universe is not going to support that. It's not. Doesn't matter what you do or what you say. You can do a doll, you can do a puppet. Whatever is meant for you is meant for you. If it's meant for you to have it, if it's meant for you to manifest it, nobody can interfere with that, but you do have to do the work because they've done the work. They have contacted these spirits, they have made deals with them, and they have used you as the sacrifice. Things that should have been long gone out of their life that they're holding on to, that should have been gone. They should have moved on to either something better or something that was more so suited for them in fate, because I believe in fate. Okay, I have a lot of respect for God. I have a lot of respect for God's creation and how spirits set up magic, and women are very magical and very powerful. But when you're going against the goddess, when you're doing things that are totally against the goddess and nature and what she believes in, then your spells are not going to work. And the reason why is because what Goddess will do is Goddess will say, hey, I can see that something must have happened in this person's life that wasn't supposed to. So Goddess will give you extra blessings. And then Goddess will guide you through the spirit, and you'll end up in the house, or either you'll end up in on the phone with a spiritualist that is removing those things and that alternate reality that shouldn't be there, and then you'll be fine. But if it's something that you were meant to lose, then you're gonna be told over and over again, and you're gonna get blocks at every turn. And even still then, depending on the situation, okay, depending on the situation, because black magic can be tricky. Black magic can have you doing all sorts of things, negative things that you obviously wouldn't do in a normal situation. That's why it's important to send those things back. And trust me, they'll get it. Even though they front like they don't get it, they get it. They get it, and they get it back, and they get it good. We've all seen it. Okay. We've all seen it. Doesn't matter if they come to the videos and thumbs them down. Doesn't matter. They do the same thing over and over again, but the same result has always happened. Same thing. Same result. You get the same results. And that's why they get what they get, and they don't throw a fit. They usually don't. That's just like somebody that wanted to see you dead, or somebody that wanted to see you in a certain way, but when they see that it's separate or it's opposite, they're upset. And so they're willing to use even more of their energy, time, money. But then it never happens. They take it to their grave, especially if you're being very vigilant and you're working with your spirits. And sometimes you can stay in spiritual war for you can stay in spiritual war for an entire lifetime. It can happen, especially if depending on who you are, and maybe if it's some other, I don't really think of, certain organizations as, there's been people that have fought and overcome. I have seen people with whole church congregations after them. They all demons. They all got, rotten teeth. I have seen people with whole groups, gangs, and fucking Freemasons against them. And you do your work and you're fine. And people will get intimidated by groups of people. Hey sis, people will get intimidated by groups of people, but you can't get intimidated by these groups of people. They really don't have no power. Otherwise, they wouldn't be so codependent. That's why I said, people, and I said it when I saw them people years ago, they was all attacking people. They was attacking their children, trying to say, oh, if you don't do this or do that, I'm going to attack your children. Those people don't have no power to hurt your children. Not really. If you give them the power, then they will. But it is certain entities and certain spirits that you do have to work off of your children sometimes. I've done it. I've done it. I've done it so many times. And it ain't even got to be no big deal. The demons and the people that are masquerading themselves as witches, they will say it over and over and over again, but what they do actually doesn't work. But The way that it works is it works on you because it brings you to a place of disbelief. So that's when your belief system is all screwed up. When you believe certain things, and if you believe, oh, these folk is strong enough to kill me, oh, these folks are strong enough to do this. If you believe that, then that's what's gonna happen. But if you believe in God and you believe what your spirit guides are telling you, then it's not gonna happen. But see, that's what they do. They'll try to tell you, believe in me, believe in the negativity before I believe in myself and my spirit guides and what they telling me. I don't think so. See, it's a mind trick. That's how they get you, is in your mind. They convince you that, oh, I'm so powerful, I can do this. Well, if you were so powerful, then why didn't you just let me do my thing and then you do your thing? Why your thing got to be so codependent on me? Why folks got to believe certain things about me for you to make it? That's your ancestors are weak. I'm sorry, your ancestors should be able to bring you out of any situation. The fact that the your ancestors require for you to attack other people, but I thought that I thought that that's not. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I guess some people's ancestors are just weaker than others. Hell, my ancestors can make a rabbit come out of a hat. My ancestors can make it rain right now. Right now. It start raining outside. If I ask my ancestors, I say I want some rain, they gonna bring it. My ancestors can control the weather. Where are your ancestors at when your ancestors are like, what? I didn't know that. I had no idea. I don't think so. I think that that's if your ancestors require for my blood to be shed in some kind of way, then your ancestors was obviously weak. They had nothing to do with creation. This is how you manifest, is through the energy and the power of creation. All things manifested through creation. And your ancestors, and those ain't everybody. Everybody ancestors, who in the hell? I've never heard of this. I've never heard of this, and I think it's a pagan thing. I think it's a pagan thing. My ancestors is into world peace. I really am one of them kind of people because, when you look at people, you be like, well, you fighting for nothing. Why don't you just go somewhere and just relax and be tranquil? Did I not say that, y'all? Go and relax somewhere and be tranquil. Why you got so many intranquil spirits around you? If your ancestors was powerful, why can't they get rid of those intranquil spirits? The spirits are intranquil within you. My ancestors have very tranquil spirits. They're very powerful. We don't need to be afraid or fear this or constantly be at war with nobody. I ain't got to call nobody every single day to make sure that my spells is working. Because I know they working. I don't have to get confirmation every day. Hell, sometimes I'll sleep for a couple of days. I ain't got to see that all the time. With You see what I'm saying, sis? It just is ridiculous. It is. And if you let those people get you to a place where you're afraid, then you lost. If you fear your enemy, you lost. And what they can do, because they'll tell you, "Oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that." Do it, do it. I challenge you. That you know what I told my enemies? I said, I call your bluff. Cause they bluffing. They bluffing. That's all it is to it. Oh, I'm gonna come over there and shoot you. Really? You think you think it? Cause my spirits have done this before. I've had people on their way to mess with me, and literally their car break down, they have a car accident or something, come to mess with me. I mean, seriously, that's how your spirit guide's supposed to work, and so that's when you can say, well, you know what? Hey, I already know that I trust in my ancestors and my spirits. How about us not fight? No, I want to fight. Okay, well, I'm not gonna fight. I don't have to fight because what I can do to you, I do in my sleep. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. And you be like, well, why are you so scared? Why it got you so shook? You so shook that you over there just all the time, just going through it. That means that and then I already said this, that if you got to fight with your enemy every single day, and if your enemy is like every single day, like in every waking moment, you're thinking about your enemy, you lost. You have been trapped by your enemy. You not what you they they tried to brag about being obsessive over people. That don't what in the world? If your enemy causes you to constantly obsess about them every single day to the point where you can't sleep or you can't eat, what what the hell are your you ain't got to where your ancestors at? Shit, you supposed to be enjoying life. But ain't none of my ancestors. Look, listen, I got African ancestors, I got Japanese, I got Viking, Irish Viking ancestors, okay? And then I also have native ancestors. Ain't none of them ever told me that I got to do something, that I got to sit there and just watch my enemy all day and night. I ain't got to do that. I don't have to sit and obsess over nothing. My ancestors allow me to live life and be happy and be prosperous and abundant. I can celebrate my yoni. I can celebrate my womb. I don't have to be ashamed of nothing. To even my African ancestors, they don't want me to be a race soldier. They like, girl, live your life, and we are in full support of you right now. Live your life. We about to throw some marshmallow fluff at you. Don't worry about this. We got this here. You ain't supposed to sit up here. Your ancestors supposed to do half of the work for you. At least half, if not over half. Something ain't right with that. Maybe you ain't appealed to because some of our ancestors can be bad. They'll come in, they'll say, well, nah, I don't like that. And you'll say, well, you know what? Respectfully, I'm gonna have a conversation with you, because I've had to do this with people's ancestors. I've had to have conversations with people's ancestors, grandmother, great grandmother, great great grandmother, and I'll say, listen, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna make a deal with you. See, you can make a deal with people's ancestors, but if you're not an authentic medium, you're not gonna have access to anybody's ancestors, and the shit's just gonna be a mess. You ain't gonna know the answers. You ain't gonna know what to do. And I done talk too much, because now they gonna be trying to contact people. But if you contact people, ancestors, with that bad spirit on you, they gonna immediately start attacking you. They gonna immediately start attacking you. And sometimes people that you look at, or that you looking at, or people that you dealing with, they have spirits around them. I talk to so many people every single day. When I as soon as immediately when I get on the phone with you, I can feel your ancestors. I can feel what you feel, and I can feel what you're thinking. And I know what you're going through. And see, I know how to decipher that demonic mind separate from the human mind. So that's how I'm able to work with so many different people under many, many different gods and ancestry, because I'm universal. And so I'm not going to sit up here and go, well, you got bad spirits on you, I can't help you. Well, what the fuck would be my purpose and my point in being a witch if I'm just going to turn people away because they got bad spirits on them? What is my purpose? How could I claim to have power when I can't handle the spirits that's on my own goddamn clients? That what who my ancestors sent to me to pay me, my witchy ancestors. If I go to my guides and I'll be like, listen, I got this person and they got some spirits on them and I'm scared. I wish the hell I would contact my witchy ancestors and say I'm scared. They gonna look at me like I done lost my damn mind. They're gonna be like, well, shit, it's your job. Get rid of the bad spirits. Then what the fuck is wrong with you? And people, and especially being a healer, I don't fear no disease. Why would I need to fear a disease and I'm a healer? How could I claim to be an authentic healer and I fear disease, which is caused by demons and bad spirits and bad energy? Why would I do that? Wouldn't make no sense for me to say, oh, well, somebody made me sick. But that's because you don't really know it. That's why I said people need to quit claiming to be what they not. Stop claiming to be what you not, man. When you a healer, that shit is serious. That shit is serious, man. You can be a healer and have a heart attack, a stroke, because you got that because you're dealing with their spirits. But if your mind tells you that that spirit can kill you, then you'll definitely die a physical death. Now, people that are purposely putting that energy on you, people that are experiencing reverse to the point where, they look around and they say, oh, this world is so miserable that I don't want to be in it. So those people will consistently try to cut down and that's what y'all experiencing within your families and stuff like that. They'll try to make the decision for you. And the ancestors are standing in the way of those people too. Because there's some people, they understand their hard knocks, they understand their lessons, and they're not ready to go, oh, well, I went through that at the age of 35, and I went through this at the age of 45, and I've been going through all this. That means that I don't need to be in this reality, and this reality is messed up. And you're like, well, did you know that you were creating your reality? That's what your ancestors are saying to you. Well, how am I creating a reality? You created it. You created that reality that you're living in. And now you going to make a decision for everybody else? I don't think so, because there's some people, they've been through hell and back. They still love their life. I'm not going to let nobody make me feel bad about my life, my essence, my soul, my spirit. I don't think so. That's when life has got you down. You on a death mission to where you like, well, this reality is messed up. We got to move on to another. But that don't make no sense because you created the reality that you're living in. You created it. Or either something else created it for you. So that don't make no sense to me. People be coming with some stuff and then they be like, oh, well, I don't care about my physical body. That's not what the ancestors told you to do. They never said for you to not care about your physical body. In fact, you're supposed to be connecting the mind with the body and the spirit. I don't understand some people. But I do understand them. They getting lied to by those entities and demons. That's a trick when you think that way. Now, certain circumstances, you can absolutely reverse them because a lot of times what black magic will do is it will get worse and worse. It'll just, the energies will intensify. If you don't tell that energy what to do, then it's not going to do nothing. It's just going to keep coming for you. All spells and curses can be reversed. All of them can. When you hear somebody saying, oh, you ain't going to be able to reverse that. Shit, hell, what? That's a whole lie. And they know it. They hoping that you believe in it. That it can't be reversed. That's why they're discouraging reversals. All of a sudden, it's like, well, But this is something that, like, where would we be if we didn't, like, where would we be? Everybody would just be in turmoil their whole lives if we didn't have the ability to reverse that stuff. So all of it can be, even the negatives, even the negative circumstances that are in your family. Some of the negative, hurtful things that you've said, that demon will try to convince you, oh, well, it's done. You can't do nothing about it. It's like, well, I don't agree with that. I don't know about you guys, but I've seen it happen way too many times to be sitting up here, worried or sad or stressed about, even the mistakes that you made. They'll try to make it seem like, oh, well, you made a mistake, so you can't never. That's not true either, guys. You got to be careful listening to certain people. And you definitely shouldn't listen to your enemies because they're going to tell you the exact opposite of the truth. They're going to tell you the exact opposite of the truth. Okay? Yeah, but there's so many people that can't decipher the magic. I don't know what you meant by that. Only an illusion says you can't reverse it if you keep choosing evil entities. I don't know what you mean by that exactly. You're gonna have to elaborate for me to be able to respond to that. To be honest with you, because I don't know what evil entities you're talking about, sweetie. I don't know what a lot of y'all can't decipher evil from good. It's been apparent. It's been apparent. When I stopped choosing evil entities, it felt like it was disappeared. What evil entities are you talking about though? You got to be more specific about what you're talking about. Because according to a lot of people's thought processes, the things that you want, the things that you need, they feel that knowledge is evil. So there's been a lot of things and a lot of deities that have been labeled as evil that are actually not evil. So you got to be a little bit more specific about what you're talking about. Okay, and remember that everything has a place. Everything has a purpose. Okay, yeah, evil entities equal toxic people. Eh, yeah, you're right. I definitely don't want to stay around toxic people, but I mean, nobody is afraid. Like, it's that fear, you know what I'm saying? But I agree. I don't deal with toxic people at all. Anybody that's toxic has already been expunged from my life a long time ago. Okay, so yeah, you're right about that when you say that. But an entity and a toxic person can be two totally different things. A toxic person is just somebody that's very negative. An entity that may have taken over that toxic person is who the real enemy is. You see what I'm saying? So toxic people are toxic for a reason. People begin to act toxic for a reason. So it's the entity or the spirit or the demon that you're dealing with or whatever that is. Okay, that's working against you. If it's something that's working for you, then that's okay. But if it's working against you, literally working against you, and a lot of people can't really see when something is actually working against you totally. So, for example, a hex that you may be under that may cause unhappiness, financial issues, bad health. A lot of people can't really decipher where the negativity is coming from, is the problem. And that's why people continue to commingle themselves with very toxic people that actually have it out for them for whatever reason they have. And instead of them, you know, moving past that or, doing something about it. So, yeah. But I think that again, if it's a negative circumstance, is what I'm talking about, like a negative circumstance or a negative or a curse or whatever it is. Maybe it was an action that somebody took that may have afflicted you negatively. The actual negative effects and the negative situation, that's what can be reversed. You see what I'm saying? That's what can be reversed. So, a lot of people say, "Oh, well, you can't change it," and well, if God ordained for it to be changed, it's gonna change and it's gonna go back to normal. Okay, to where it should be. It shouldn't, because let's face it, black magic will intensify the energies. They will intensify energy that was created, but it'll your mind will tell you, it'll say, wait a minute, this ain't right. Something ain't right about this. Something don't seem right. Something don't. And then also, a lot of times people do black magic because they want to take something from you. So it's important to take your power back. You just got to get somebody that, because people that can't remove black magic from them, they're typically going to be very evil, especially if they're a witch. There's a lot of witches that don't know how to remove negative energy from themselves. So that's why they gravitate towards doing negative things. Okay. Thank you, Only an Illusion. Thank you for the thumbs up, you guys. That's what I wanted to tell you guys. Make sure that you understand that. And a lot of times you just have to be patient. You have to be patient when it comes to magic sometimes. But if it's not meant to be and you've been doing it for years and years and years, and then now you're 50, 60, 70 years old and you've been trying to do the same thing and it ain't came into fruition, then that means that it's not. Doesn't matter if you use black magic or not. So a lot of people, they will wonder why, you'll put something out there and it won't actually work and they'll be upset. But magic can start. So you're going to get mad at magic. That's what they end up doing. They end up saying, oh, well, I don't like that witchcraft and I'm mad because I tried to use it to do something that I probably shouldn't have been doing. And when the universe paid me dirt, or the universe let me know that ain't gonna never go through, it ain't gonna happen, it's not happening the way that you want it to happen, then those people will get upset at witches and people like me that's telling them the truth, when in reality it's a demon on them that's making them, like, why would you stay in that state of being and then blame somebody else? The universe can be very cold. If you don't know, hell, ignorance is not bliss. It's not. Yeah, everything can be reversed. It can be, especially if it's a negative circumstance. It can always be reversed. Yeah, yeah. Well, the reason why God doesn't give you more than what you can handle is because, I mean, I do believe in a source of energy, but I believe that at the end of the day, I believe that we are God's consciousness. We come from God on some level, no matter where we came from in the universe. So God is you, ultimately. And I think that because when you think about God, if you were to think about God as a human or a person or an energy, you realize that God is here, but God is constantly creating other things in different universes. There's like a lot out there that we don't know about. So, especially people on this planet that have their petty differences with each other, it's not important in the grand scheme of things. That's why it's certain things that I don't even let bother me. I don't let none of it bother me personally. You know what I'm saying? I just reverse it and keep it moving and live my life. I don't have to sit up here and call folks all day and, the double checking and remote viewing folks and going through all this. Ain't nobody got to go through all that. Hell, you done lost the war already when you got to spend every goddamn waking day of your life all day, every day. Hell, once you do something, when you do magic, it's done. It's done. You don't sit around and you don't even sit around. If you've done effective magic, you ain't even got to think about it. You do the work and then you stop thinking about it. That ain't no kind of strength or real magic when it's tearing you down. Literally, you scratching your eyeballs out trying to watch it manifest. That lets you know it ain't gonna manifest because you sitting there worrying about it. So that's how, and I explained that to a lot of my clients. This is a talk that I have with them about magic, that I've incorporated in my consultations, where you get like at least a 10-minute lecture about magic, to where you should not practice magic without having any real faith in it. That makes no sense. And I let people know you've got to make sure that you actually believe. I don't like doing work for people that don't actually believe in magic, you know. I don't like doing work for folks like that because they can become an obstacle. Once you've done it, it's done. And, sit down and have a Coke and a smile and be quiet about it. Otherwise, when you know that crap ain't going to work, you're going to obsess over it, and you even try to make it look like it worked, but it ain't done nothing to the other person. And see, sometimes when you play with magic like that, magic can be very tricky. And people that have that foul intent, they'll be sitting back and they'll just be blinded. They'll just be blinded. All right, sorry, y'all. I've got to go because I got folks trying to reach me. So I got to go, guys. I got to go. If you guys want to learn more about reversals, because some of y'all that are in precarious situations right now done had somebody put something on you, and it's black magic and you can feel it, then you can always consult with me. But I don't want to work with folks that don't believe in magic. And some of y'all need y'all inner child healed, because a lot of y'all, when y'all were children, y'all believed in magic and in your power. But then when you got older and you had some of the circumstances in life and those bad energies, but it is true about magic. You can manifest whatever you want with magic. But if it, but if you are doing things and trying to insert yourself and your spells don't really work, and you uptight about it, and you sad about it, and you yelling and screaming about it, and you constantly bugging the hell out of the universe to give you some kind of sign, it wasn't meant to be. The universe will tell you, look, it wasn't meant for us to move this work for you. That's why I prevent that by not taking certain cases altogether. We don't do things that, if my spirits indicate with me that we can't do something, and clients can be sort of manipulative too, because they want something, and they feel like your magic is powerful enough. But sometimes, even if it's certain stuff that I can't do, or if it takes a while longer, you really can't tell. But if it's certain things the ancestors are going to make sure that you have, and they're going to be very specific about those things. And if you feel that you're lacking in those things, and if you feel like you've got blockages or hexes on you, absolutely, hexes and curses do exist. Yes, they do. They were trying to say that they don't exist. We ain't transcended that much. That's a lie. That's a lie. And all of those people ended up having to get curses removed from them. Probably put on them by their friends. It's supposed to be their friend. And really, to be honest with you, you can't believe that anybody can do anything to hurt you like that. I think that the belief of it is bad enough, but then, you can actually, have stuff where your own magic can be against you. That's what I'll be talking to a lot of y'all earth signs and a lot of air signs. For some reason, earth signs and air signs have a tendency to do that, to where they will have a fear of something and then they will manifest it, and they will manifest it very well, and then they'll be blaming somebody else, but in reality you manifested that in your life because you. So some people can manifest curses in their own life just by either being paranoid or either not wanting to face the truth or being in denial about something. Okay, but I gotta go, guys, because my children, I have children, and they're trying to reach me. So I will talk to y'all later. Peace and love. Happy New Year to those that I haven't said it to yet. And if you guys want to know more about your own magic, I do have classes. I am a teacher of magic. I have been doing this full time. I manifest a stable income at what I do, which most people can't say. They have to have some kind of backup, some kind of something. Everything that I put in my mouth, all the clothes that I put on my back, everything that I have obtained, even the house that I live in, everything that I have obtained the past 6 years has been because of my own magic, which means that it's powerful. There's a lot of people that they looking for energy coming from somebody else. No, as a woman, I manifested everything through my magic. Okay, I've had support of my sisters. But I do a lot for people, and I don't charge as much as I could. So a lot of people that are looking, they'll say, "Oh, well, she's too expensive compared to somebody else." That's what they want you to think. But you get what you pay for. You get what you pay for when it comes to magic of all types. Because I could charge more, and I will charge more in the future for what I do, and I'll get it. And I'll get it. And a lot of people say, well, that's not fair because I don't think that my potential is that much. Well, how the hell is it unfair to me? What they got to do with me because you don't believe in your full potential? That ain't my fault that you don't believe in yourself. Okay? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right, sis. That's basically throwing the money away. It is. And it's real important for you guys to make sure that you know that it's not a game and it's not a joke. Okay? It's not. All right. I will see y'all later. Love and light, peace and love, and dark blessings to all of y'all. Bye bye.